Jim from Monterey. Are you here on the Rich Eisen Show? You there, Jim?
Hello, my friend. How are you? Good way to start Super Bowl week.
It is that. It is that. I mean, and this is, as I sort of just alluded to, a home game for you here in the Northern California area. This is just going to be fascinating to see, sort of like the old school Super Bowls, Jim, that used to start in the daytime and then the third and fourth quarter it gets nighttime out. I'm looking forward to it.
I am too. I made an allusion to that during the AFC Championship game, which was played under bright skies a week ago, and how it did feel like a throwback to our youth. Seeing these games start in daylight, and the Super Bowl, same thing as you mentioned. It's going to have a different kind of look. I'm excited about the fact. Doesn't change anything for me, but it is nice to have a home Super Bowl. 77.4 miles from my door to the CBS compound adjacent to Levi Stadium.
You know, and it's fascinating to me too, Jim, that you called the 50th Masters in your debut back in 1986, and you were the studio host for the 50th NCAA Final Four in 1988, and here you are calling the 50th Super Bowl.
All these golden games, golden tournaments. I had no idea that I had been there for the 50th Masters until I was in the middle of an interview with our CBS affiliate back in September before our first Thursday night game. They asked me one of the first questions of the year about Super Bowl 50 coming up. And right on the spot, it dawned on me, wait a minute, I was here in Kansas City for the 50th Final Four. You know, I hosted that. And then in mid-sentence, just stopped and did a quick calculation on the Masters and thought, you know, I don't remember anybody making a big to-do about it, but I think I might have been there for the 50th Masters. We looked it up, and sure enough, Jack Nicklaus's epic sixth green jacket performance at Augusta was the 50th playing of the Masters. So it's been pretty cool to be there for those special milestone events. I didn't realize it probably back then. I was 26 when I did the 50th Masters. I was just paralyzed with fear. You know, the assignment was so big for a young kid just a few years out of college. I was trying to act like I was, 56 like I am now instead of 26.
Yes.
And I was just trying to survive. I was just trying to do, trying not to do anything stupid so I could be back the next year.
Well, you've definitely survived. Yeah, you've passed the audition. Let's put it that way, Jim. No doubt about that. What are you expecting out of this game? Because the last time Denver was in it, I thought it would be a much closer game between Seattle and Denver. We all know what happened. Now so many people believe Carolina, the way that they've been playing, are just going to maul Manning back in that pocket. How do you see this playing out, Jim?
Well, I think the Denver defense is too good for anything crazy to happen. I just don't see this game getting away from anybody. I really don't. And I know it's easy to draw a lot of really impressive conclusions off of Carolina's two playoff performances, especially the way they've started. 55-7 first half in the two games combined over Seattle and Arizona. And then you couple that with the fact that Denver was down 22-0 a couple of years ago at halftime, and before that game officially became a blowout. I just don't think that's going to be the case this time. I think it's going to be a tight, lower-scoring Super Bowl than we're accustomed to, and I can't wait to see which way it goes.
Yeah, me too. And just like I said, seeing it in Northern California back, just weeks after the NFL returns to Los Angeles, it's just going to be just a different vibe. I already feel it just having been in the area for just about 10, 12 hours also. And then seeing Cam Newton on this stage is something I'm looking forward to also, having seen him on such a big stage collegiately and now on the biggest game also, Jim. How many games of his have you been able to call?
One this year,
right?
But I've had at least one every year of his career, including his one time he went against the Broncos.
Huh.
So I've been around Cam a lot. I'm blown away by his talent. I love his personality. I love the way he plays, wearing a smile. Mm-hmm. And as you said, stepping onto this stage, you can't wait to see what it looks like. But I have a feeling we're going to see what that looks like a number of times. He's 26 years old. It's not going to be his only trip to the Super Bowl.
I don't think so either.
I just don't think so.
Yeah, I'm with you. And so before I let you go, last week on my show, we were having some fun with the Rich Eisen Show Super Bowl 50 prop bets based on some of the things that might happen on your broadcast.
Okay,
Jim.
I love it. I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, there we go. So, I don't want to influence anything, but right now we have set the line of the number of times you just say the word friends at 2.5. Just the word friends.
Probably I can count on one for sure.
I know that. That's the whole idea. The question is how many other times might you be able to say it?
Well, you're not saying hello, friends. You're just saying friends. I could be talking about a friend of Ron Rivera, for example.
That's right. That's correct. So I don't. I sort of feel like I'm touching a third rail here, even by involving you in something like this. But the one thing that's out there, Jim, the mega prop is the number of times that Phil Simms will say either Gwyneth or Paltrow. What do you think on that front?
It's got to be a low number.
Yeah.
It's got to be a low number.
Yeah, okay.
But the friends thing, now you got it in my head.
There you go. Well, just, I don't want to influence any action, essentially.
No, and I can definitely influence history here. But, the story behind it, I think we've discussed it before.
Yes.
It's really an homage to my father.
Yep.
I started saying it years ago when my father was falling deep into the deep, dark abyss of Alzheimer's. And that was my Carol Burnett tugging on the earlobe moment to let my dad know that I was thinking of him.
Yeah.
And I used it, back in that stage of his life as he faded a little bit more week to week, month to month. And I just kept it. It makes me think right when a broadcast begins of my dad. And it relaxes me, and my father had only friends in his life, so it's really just a quiet little tribute to my father is how it all got started.
And I love it, Jim. And I appreciate you taking the time to call in to kick off this week here in the Bay Area. Probably about, what you said, 77 point some odd miles from your house.
Yeah, that's it. 77.4.
.4. I can't forget the .4. And I will see you tonight. I know you're part of the opening night proceedings on NFL Network tonight. I'm looking forward to seeing you.
I've loved being with you guys all season long on Thursday Night Football, and it's really fitting that I begin my Super Bowl week by having a visit with you here, Rich. So I look forward to seeing you a little later on as well.
I'll see you later tonight. Thanks for calling in, Jim. I appreciate it. That's Jim Nantz calling his 4th Super Bowl for CBS.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.